Good evening. I'm Mark Ouimet, State Representative here in the 52nd District, and we're very, very pleased that all of you have shown up here to be part of a town hall meeting.
I really appreciate you taking the time, and we're very lucky tonight. We try to be smart, but sometimes you got to be honest that we're just lucky because we're between Tiger games. After this session, what would we do? We're just going back to the same old stuff, and we kept going downhill. Because we hadn't been going downhill for just the last 10 years. We've been going downhill since the 60s. 50 years of going downhill. Have you ever seen blame solve a problem? It doesn't help. All it does is take away from solving a problem. And I'm proud to say, go check all the records you want. I don't believe I've been critical of either my predecessor or the president, for example. Because what matters is solving the problem, not who gets credit for something. And if a lot of problems are getting solved, just good things happen, and we all win together. Now, the third piece of relentless positive action is that point about solving problems. It's not about fighting with anyone. It's simply to say, here's a problem. What are the facts? And let's bring some common sense to bear on that problem. And by applying common sense solutions, we can put a solution in that we can move forward on. It might not be a perfect solution, but we've made tremendous progress on a lot of these structural problems. They have been there for a very long time. And to take one problem after another in a relentless fashion. Because that's what you'd want as a customer, right? You don't want to hear about blame. You don't want to hear about credit. You just want problems. Now, some of the problems we face are more recent problems. Other of these problems are problems that have been there for decades. And that's one commitment I made coming to office. And that may be some of your questions, because I've taken on some really tough things. And in some cases, I've had to ask for change from people. And it's tough. But in many respects, isn't it better we address what are real problems now and clean them up, put in a smarter solution, a better solution for the long term? So whoever is governor next term, the term after, way out in the future, they don't have to deal with it? How much our unemployment's dropped, if you look at increases in personal income, if you look at economic growth, if you look at what's going on with homes in terms of prices and sales, we're the comeback state. But what I can tell you is I'm not complacent nor content with where we're at. It's not good enough. After the election's over, I'm going to do a special message on energy and the environment. We need to do more to protect the Great Lakes, for example. We need to do a better job about thinking about how we manage our environmental issues within the state and our energy policy next year. We're going to do an education summit about bringing all the different educational institutions together about how we can partner better together to service you, our customer. And we need to continue that cycle. There are so many things. One of the most exciting things I'm fired up to do is this whole topic of talent. I just talked about careers. We need to do a much better job of developing skilled tradespeople in our state. We need to keep encouraging people to go to college to get a degree, particularly in engineering or science or math, give them good information. It's to be a welder. It's to be someone that can run a CNC machine on a production floor. We need to really emphasize those. What are Washington's biggest issues? They can't even do a budget. They haven't done one. They've been running huge deficits, putting us much farther in debt and not paying down those liabilities, not having a plan to say, how do you pay off that debt? And then tax reform and regulatory reform. The list goes on. And look at what Michigan's done in a year and a half by using relentless positive action. We've balanced our budgets the fastest in the last 30 years, the last 2 years. More important than speed is quality. These are rock-solid budgets in terms of accounting practices, all those things. There's no gimmicks in them. They may be tough budgets, that first one, but there are no gimmicks. They're rock-solid. The next one was to start paying down our liabilities. Again, those are some of the reforms we needed to make because we were putting unsustainable systems in place so people that earned pensions and retirement benefits might not ever see them if we hadn't done some of the reforms we've done. And we're putting money in our rainy day fund. We're preparing our small and medium-sized business people to pay an extra tax on top of what they're already paying, which was the same tax you and I are paying. How dumb is that? to ask job creators to say you should pay an extra tax on top of paying the same tax you and I pay on our salaries and wages. So we've done a lot of that, so we should be proud. So what I ask you to do is get fired up. Be excited about Michigan's future. Our best days are ahead of us in terms of looking at our opportunities. But do it in a positive attitude. How can we be positive, forward-looking, and team in place in terms of the legislature, of what we're doing so far? And let's just continue on this path. Because don't we want that Michigan at some point in the future to know that our kids have a place to work, a place to live, a place to stay?